Hey guys, we're about to read Doomquest, Issue 2. Let's get into it. Doomquest. The nation of Latveria is struggling, but Doom has plans to change that. Reed Richards, genius scientist and Mr. Fantastic of the Fantastic Four, proposed a new form of time travel in which a powerful mind could harness every pivotal moment in history and change them in one simultaneous instant. Doom used Reed's idea to create the Doom engine so he could rewrite history in Latveria's favor. The Avengers, the X-Men, and the Fantastic Four arrive to prevent Doom from using the device, and Reed stops him the best way he could, by sending him back in time to the sinking of the RMS Titanic. Dr. Doom awakens to a nightmare of Reed Richards' design, discovering his mind has been imprisoned inside the body of an ordinary passenger aboard the doomed Titanic. Stripped of his armor, technology, and identity, Doom refuses to accept defeat. Convinced that intellect alone is his greatest weapon, he vows that no trap Reed has devised will end his life aboard this doomed vessel. As the lookout spots the approaching iceberg, Doom forces his way onto the bridge. He knocks an officer aside and attempts to prevent the crew from reversing the engines, ordering the ship to be turned hard starboard. Believing he alone understands the correct maneuver, Doom takes firm control of the ship's wheel, physically fighting off the officers who try to remove it. He warns that attempting to turn will pierce a quarter of the hull, and instead forces the Titanic to crash head-on into the iceberg to limit the flooding to only a handful of front compartments. The massive impact violently throws the officers backwards across the bridge, while Doom remains steadfast, declaring that the ship shall not sink. Doom successfully saves the Titanic and basks of worldwide praise. Rather than accept recognition, Doom demands every nation use its gratitude to transform Latveria into the greatest country on Earth. Reporters question Doom what happened to the people that were crushed in the impact when it hit the iceberg, and they believe the first mace maneuver would have been successful. As Doom looks at them callously, when numerous reporters begin to ridicule Latveria as an insignificant backwater country, Doom responds with ruthless violence, gunning them down before proudly revealing his identity. Doom. The moment in history isn't changed enough to change the threshold, so he's stuck and dissolves into endless darkness. Doom awakens once more at the dining table where his ordeal began. He realizes Reed's sabotage created a perfect temporal prison. Any significant alteration, history, or successful escape simply sets him to the beginning of the voyage. Learning the Titanic requires 2 hours and 45 minutes to sink, Doom begins exploiting the loot. He methodically memorizes the ship, hunts down every weapon aboard, and systematically works through each obstacle, including a stubbornly log saved. Deep within the floating lower decks, Doom finds his borrowed body too weak to move the wreckage, blocking his escape. As he begins to drown in the water, he refuses to breathe it in. Most people begin to panic, and that's when they breathe the water. In refusing to grant Reed the satisfaction of an ordinary death, Doom suppresses every instinct to breathe through sheer willpower, the will of Doom. He keeps his mouth sealed shut, choosing suffocation over drowning so his lungs never fill with water. Resetting once again, Doom realizes every death merely restarts the loop, effectively making him immortal within Reed's prison. Countless repetitions allow him to master every corridor of the ship, recover every useful weapon, and eliminate every unnecessary variable. Armed with salvage weapons, Doom seizes control of the ship's deck, holding terrified passengers at gunpoint. He permits escape only after each one swears eternal loyalty to him and the glory of Latveria, believing they're honorable. After the Titanic sinks, Doom and his selected survivors are rescued by the RMS Carpathia. Their gratitude immediately evaporates as they denounce him as a murderer before the crew. Disgusted by the betrayal and dishonored, Doom leaps into the freezing sea on his own terms, deliberately triggering another reset. Back at the beginning yet again, Doom finally understands the elegance of Reed's trap. Although he cannot choose where the time engine sends him next, he discovers he can permanently prevent himself from ever returning to this destination. Even so, he refuses to escape until Latveria's future is secured. Returning to the bridge at a critical moment, Doom shoots an officer and stops the first officer, Murdoch, from reversing the engines. Drawing upon countless previous attempts, he explains that reversing the engines weakens the rotor's effectiveness and guarantees disaster. Taking complete control of the helm, Doom expertly steers the Titanic safely past the iceberg. As someone comes to give Murdoch accolades, they marvel at his impossible skill, only to find Doom there to inform him that his commanding officers are dead and that obedience is now the only path to survival. Standing over the bodies on the bridge, Doom orders the wireless operator to transmit a message across the world. Dr. Doom has officially taken the Titanic hostage. Doom threatens to execute one hostage every 10 minutes unless the world's governments deliver massive aid to Latveria. Once confirmation arrives that his demands have been accepted, history changes on such a massive scale that the temporal prison activates once again. This time, however, Doom prepares a spell to preserve his victory before the reset can erase it. Falling through the darkness between timelines, Doom uses the fleeting moments of temporal transition to weave powerful sorcery. Although uncertain where he will ultimately arrive, he refuses to allow Reed's prison to erase the future he has forged for Latveria. The spell succeeds. Doom permanently anchors the changes he made to history while sealing the Titanic from ever imprisoning him again. Freed from Reed Richards' carefully crafted trap, he tumbles through the currents of time, wondering whose life he will have in his next destination. Doom's journey ends in July 1775, during the Siege of Boston. A man enters the command tent expecting to meet George Washington, only for us to discover an armored Dr. Doom standing before assembled soldiers, prepared to reshape yet another pivotal moment in history. Doom has escaped the Titanic and now finds himself in a strange new body, in a strange new world. America at the start of the Revolutionary War. The world is about to change, and a young nation is about to take on the British Empire, the single most powerful military in history. But Doom has other plans and sees opportunity to reshape the past. Doomquest is actually pretty interesting. I want to see all the hijinks that Doom can get himself into, or out of, depending on whatever he's trying to do. It's pretty captivating. That's all for this issue. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Bye!